Hello and welcome to this video on custom animated decals for Rocket League. In this video we'll be going over how to create decals. Fair warning, there is no easy way for doing this. It's not like a standard or paintable decal. Animated decals can be very time consuming, some more than others. The biggest problem is finding out which layers do what, which parameters do what, and what colors to use. So to start with, the decal you see on screen is a custom one for the Spider Boogie decal. If I was to remove this, there is the original decal. So how would we go about making a custom decal? The first thing you need to know is what parameters and files are used. In order to do this, you will need to enable developer mode in Alpha Console. So press F6 on the keyboard, and in the box type in AC plugin underscore texture developer underscore enable 1. When you press enter and then press F5, you will see that you now have green text with extra chassis and parameters. These parameters are what the decals use. So for instance, if we select effects noise 1, here is the decal for Spider Boogie. If I select diffuse, even though we're using a breakout, it shows a diffuse layer for a car. That car being the Octane. To get rid of them, simply scroll up and select the blank area. So for this decal, we know that we don't need to download or edit anything directly. So we can come into a photo editor of our choice. Here I'm using GIMP and I have a single layer with a solid black background. So the parameters that we are after for this decal, if we scroll through or if we click through, we will see that nothing is noted yet, apart from decal blend noise. This is 1. Detail 1 we don't need. Detail 2 we don't need. Effects noise 1 and effects noise 2. As we aren't adding any team names or logos, we don't need to use the diffuse layer. And we don't need the effects masks. So just effects noise 2, 1, and decal blend noise. From here, you can either create the JSON file and copy it directly, or we can simply copy an already made preset and then just rename and add the parameters. So to start off with, we have our black background, and we shall add a new layer, and we shall paint everything on here in the color red. So to start, we'll select a red color and choose something like a star, and just paint a few stars. What you need to note with animated decals and black market decals is that the layers or textures themselves do not follow the UV maps such as standard decals. For example, here is the UV map of the Octane. If you was to paint anything here in this area, it will appear on the bonnet of the Octane, because this is the UV map of the car. Animated textures do not follow UV maps. Whatever is painted on here will show up everywhere on the car. So now that we have a few stars, let's make a new layer. This will be our blue layer. We'll come over and select blue. And let's make this, I don't know, let's find some snowflakes. We have some snowflakes and we'll just put a few of them in. We should do the same, make a new layer and call this one green. And we shall add some other paints. There we go. So this will be our custom Spider Boogie decal. We shall export. Save it as Spider. Export. And we shall paste it into our decals folder and open up the JSON file. From here, we shall copy and paste an existing template and rename this to Spider. And now we need to change the parameters. As we are using 3, we need to create a third. So we shall copy the skin and paste it. The first parameter we need is the effects noise 1, effects noise 2, and decal blend noise. Now that we have these, we know that all 3 of these parameters use the same texture. So we shall copy the name of the texture and we shall simply override effects noise 1, and for the moment we shall remove effects noise 2 and decal blend noise. We'll save and then go back into the game. With the Spider Boogie decal equipped, we press F5 and then find our spider decal. As you can see now, we have 2 layers of Spider Boogie, the top to bottom and left to right. The right to left is now has snowflakes, but nothing else does. This is where we need to know which layer does what. So for instance, I have already made this file which explains everything you need to know. The colors which control the directions of the animation: red equals top to bottom, blue left to right, and green right to left. And the parameters that separate the colors are effects noise 1 is right to left, effects noise 2 is left to right, and decal blend is top to bottom. So this decal here only has a right to left snowflake. Right to left is green, and effects noise 1. If we look back into our JSON file, effects noise 1 is where we have our image, and it only shows the green layers. To add more layers, we simply copy the image and add it to effects noise 2, F5 and reapply the decal. And now we have the left to right movements, the right to left, which you can see coming across now, and the top to bottom are still the original decal. What we should do, we shall apply the third parameter and then press F5 and reapply the skin. And now we have our fully customized decal with top to bottom, left to right, and right to left. As you saw, if we excluded one parameter from the JSON file, it will still include the original decal. If you wish to have only one movement, for instance, top to bottom, these stars, you'll need to have all three parameters set. Find which direction you wish to exclude. So for example, here we are doing top to bottom. We want decal blend noise to be set, and the direction or the color from top to bottom is red. So we can exclude the green and the blue. If we now save this, go back into the game, press F5 and reapply the skin. Now we only have the top to bottom custom decal. This has all three parameters set, so the original decal will not come through. And we have set only the red layers. Now, currently, this is only set for the breakout. If I was to select another car, such as the backfire, you will see that it doesn't work. Spider Boogie itself is a universal decal. So if I go into the JSON file, the skin ID of the Spider Boogie is 4444. But if I change the body ID to 0, select save and reapply the skin. Now we have it on the breakout. Sorry, now we have it on the backfire, breakout, Dominus, Fennec. The 0 in the skin, in the body ID is universal. Now, not all custom decals are this easy. Some, such as the Octane Dragonlord, require more work to find out which colors, which layers affect the custom decal. For example, on this decal, if we flick through, decal 1 is the dragon itself. Detail 1, detail 2 aren't needed. Effects noise 1 and effects noise 2 are animated, and the rest we don't need. Now, from doing this already, I can tell you that what we need are effects noise 1, and if you wish, you can add effects noise 2. However, this effects noise 2 isn't needed. Decal 1 is where the standard decal would go, such as the dragon. And effects noise 1 is the confetti or animated layer. So looking at decal 1, if we want something to show, we will need to paint in white, red or pink. So we shall make a new transparent layer and we shall paint in white. However, as we need to know where to paint, we should add the Octane diffuse layer. Select our paint layer again and simply just paint some shapes over the car. Now that we have done that, we can hide the layer to see what we have. File and export. We shall call this Dragon. As we export, we need to make sure that we select this option here to save any and all color values. Now that we have it in the Decals texture folder, we shall come into the JSON file and add it to decal 1. So now save and head back into the game. and apply the texture. As you can see, the decal 1 that we painted is now here, but we still have the confetti because we haven't applied anything in our parameters. So, to add the confetti, what we need is effects noise 1. And if we look in the file that I have already made, effects noise 1, we need to paint in red or white. So we should make a new paint layer and we should paint in red. So for now we can hide the white. Make sure we have the red layer selected. And now we shall paint in red. Again, as this is an animated layer, we don't need to conform to a UV map like we did with the decal. Like we did with the decal 1 layer. So now we shall export as Dragon FX. Again, making sure this save color value is selected. Move it into our decals folder and then simply apply it to the JSON file. Go in game and reapply the skin. And there we have the animated layer. Again, animated decals do not follow UV maps. And all we are editing, we're not creating animations, we are simply editing the parameters and decals that are used. As a nice little feature that I found out while trying to figure out how to create this animated decal, if we simply add this image to the decal texture folder, all this image is a 0% opacity red layer. So it's a fully red image set to 0% opacity. I shall now add this to the effects noise 1. Save. Reapply the skin. Now we have a gradient layer. If I was to change the colors, you see the gradient itself changes. To see what this 0% opacity looks like, I shall bring it into GIMP and hide everything else. As you can see, this selected layer expands the parameters of our window, which is completely fine. But if I was to select our color picker, choose anywhere in the map and select, you'll see that we have red. And the alpha is set to 0%. If I was to hide this and select something else, such as our white layer, which we made earlier, select anywhere else, it doesn't have the red, it is fully transparent, no colors whatsoever. To make this, or to get this red layer, you can either join the Rocket League Skins Discord, or simply make a layer, we'll call it red 1, fill it with red, and then drop the opacity all the way down to 0. Once you have finished gathering all the information you need from the Alpha Console plugin, you must make sure you disable developer mode, otherwise this will cause lag and possibly crashing or disconnection from your games. Free play is okay, however you will get lag, but in games, whether it is private matches or online, you will get a lot of lag and possible disconnection. To disable developer mode, press F6 and type in AC plugin _texture developer _enable 0. When you press enter, this will disable everything, all the green text will go, and so will the parameter boxes. To recap, animated decals take a lot longer to do than standard decals. You need to invest time into finding what layers, what parameters, and what colors to use. There is no quick how-to on how to do these. Each one is different. I hope you now understand the basics of getting information and making animated decals. Thank you very much.